Welcome,
Thank
Lina
you.
Sundqvist from
you.
If Insurance.
Correct.
Welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Lina Sundqvist and I work at If Insurance Company. I've been with the company for 4 years. I'm now working with scaling conversational AI and chatbots within the Nordics. I have a background from CRM and customer insight. So I'm very passionate about customer experience.
I just heard your talk, very impressive. And there was one thing I was wondering. Do you also use the chatbot for aftercare on the insurance? So you sell insurance and then...
Yeah, that's a great question. No, we don't. But I will actually mark that as a use case for the future. We should.
Yeah, because if you sell a client through a chatbot or he gets the information, he's used to it.
That's
And
true.
I was wondering, so, okay, it's a use case. And if you look further ahead, do you see that you'll be scaling down, or you could be scaling down people that the chatbot with AI takes over a lot of the work?
No, I think we see our advisors as a competitive advantage. We have no ambition to scale down human interactions, but what we do see is that many of the conversations are becoming more and more complex and they need that human touch. It is people call to us with like claims they have houses burned down, they have been in accidents, someone has become sick and so forth. And I think human touch is very needed there. What we want to do is reduce the reoccurring simple questions and bring as much human touch into our chatbots as we can. We are mimicking our advisors the best we can.
I'm very happy you say that. And what does that do for the jobs of the people that are in customer service right now?
That's a great question. We can actually see that the satisfaction for the customer service agents increases when we have a chatbot because they don't have to handle those reoccurring simple questions. As I was saying on stage, that where's my invoice? Where's my invoice? Where's my invoice? It becomes boring. But when you can do the more complex, where you actually feel that you are needed, that creates engagement.
And what does that mean for the training of the advisors?
I have absolutely no idea.
Would it be possible, or is it imaginable that since the problems they have to solve are more complex, they would need more intensive training, more knowledge, more, I don't know, technical stuff about insurance?
It's a good question and probably it's probably true. But I don't have that answer for you. We haven't discussed it in detail. But what I would assume is that like customer center is you want people to stay for a long time so that they become better and secure and actually are able to serve in a better way. And I hope when they get more the complex questions, it engages more and they stay longer.
During your talk, you said something about the way you put your team together. And of what kind of people it consists. And there was one thing that triggered me that I think it's beautiful, where you said that you use advisors to become conversation designers. How do you retrain these people?
We retrain them together with Boost. So they have a program for them. And then we make sure that they are in a setting together so that they can talk together and also elaborate on the products together with us.
So how do you view your relationship with Boost, your tech supplier?
Yeah, it's our suppliers, but they're also the main, what do you call it? Their success is reliant on our success, and our success is reliant on their success. So it's a collaboration.
Partners in crime.
Partners in crime, that's true.
Well, I wouldn't say insurance and crime, that's maybe not a good combination.
No, that's true. We're in the trust industry.
Yeah, exactly.
But they are, for me, it's probably more important to have a good partner than a good tech deliverer or solution architect there. The partnership is mostly important.
I'm very happy you're saying that because the thing about with the employees and the partnership, it is the most important. If you look further ahead, you say trust is the most important, right, for insurance companies, and it's no difference of whether it's in the Nordics or in Holland or France. Would you consider, or are you looking at the use of digital humans on top of your chatbots?
No, not at all. Not something that we have been looking into. We are looking into like how can we support our humans with digital means. There are like multiple ways of co-browsing and making advisors be able to guide customers within the digital, but not as far ahead as you're implying.
Yeah, because have you seen examples of digital humans? Basically, avatars.
Yeah. Briefly, just, but no, we're not.
Not considering it, or haven't thought about it yet.
I would say haven't thought about it yet, but I think it goes hand in hand that we're not considering it either at the moment.
But there's no good or bad. It's just I'm trying to understand how you're translating basically the trust value in your brand to your chatbot, because that's the other question. How do you manage your brand in your chatbot?
But that's also a good question. I think it's for us. It's important that the chatbot is a person that represents the brand. It's a bot that represents the brand. It speaks like the brand, and it contributes to our values. Like we wouldn't go off our tone of voice in the chatbot. It needs to be their support, and it's there delivering on our values as a company.
But how do you manage that?
I think we manage it through the AI trainers. They are the one creating the intents. They are the one who make sure that we answer in the way that we see that the brand would answer. But then it's a lot about like scaling the digital service and making sure, because we really want to be the most caring insurance company, and we really want to be on a side on the most digitally caring insurance company. So that's something that we're trying, like how can we actually improve that? I don't have an answer for how we do it, but that's something that we constantly are exploring, and that's constantly in the back of our, it's a process in the back of our heads and minds all the time.
You just said you want to be the most caring insurance company, also in a digital way. How does a customer feel that?
I hope they feel that we are there to service, we're there to help and support, that it's effortless and smooth to interact with us, and that we're caring about the person and not the product or the thing that they are insuring.
And how do you which metrics do you use, and how do you measure that?
Oh, that's a good question. We actually don't measure from my end, at least, or from the chatbot end, how we deliver on the caring side. We do from a brand perspective, but not in my touch point. But that's maybe something we should think about.
That's not up to me,
No,
but I fully agree.
I just reflected on it, yeah.
I'm glad I can contribute. And do you see a future where a conversational AI becomes proactive in your company? So let me give an example where your company sees that based on data, a customer has 3 products, and you know based on the profile that an average customer should have 5, and you know they're really happy with you. Would you see a future where a chatbot would approach the customer and say, hey, I know you have these 3 products. You could upgrade with these 2?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's something that we're on the verge of scaling right now. We're working with the data models to make sure that we can find or bring the online and offline data together, and what are the triggers that we need to react on, and having that in place, because we know that we are in a trust industry, and we are actually very good at recommending people to make sure that they are correctly insured. We don't want to sell, we want to make sure that our customers are correctly insured if the worst would happen. And doing that digitally also is very important for us.
And if you were to do that, how would you approach, basically you would go outbound with the chatbot, how would you approach that? Could you take me through the steps you would be taking to go from basically an inbound chatbot to be an outbound chatbot?
We are today, there's another team developing this data model where we want to have the predictions in place, the brain more or less, that keeps track of all of the customers and what their needs are. When customers are authenticated with us, and we make sure to solve their errand first. Why are they here? Like, we need to cater for the customer's need first. But with that, then start exploring where and when we are able to have a reason to speak with the customers. Either popping it up, suggesting it when they're in my pages, in the app, and finding the right way to approach our customers. I think this will be a trial and error again, and then try.
That's a crawl, walk, run,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
You said you involve customers in testing.
Yeah.
How do you guys do that?
It's our UX designer in our team that she has different kind of test tools and panels and so forth. So we use customers who work with us but may not work in this department. For some, we what's it called when you go to a panel and we recruit customers externally. They could be our customers or it can be someone else's customer. And we also have customer panels with our own customers. We recruit from that. And then we have certain tools where we test out the bot in live scenarios.
And has it happened before that the customer said, we really don't want this?
The chatbot.
That you make an innovation or a change in the chatbot, and that customers in the testing say, oh.
Yeah, but I think that's about test design a lot, because of course that could come spontaneously, but we are more understanding. We want to understand what the feelings are when interacting with the bot, so that we get an understanding, not whether they want it or don't want it, rather than when they have it here, how do they interact with, what happens when they reach the chatbot, what happens when they're on the web page and the chatbot is there. Do they even see it, or do they move over to something else?
They often do.
Yeah, they often do.
And the data your chatbots generate, how do you use them for product development?
That's also something that we're leveraging, I think. Today, we are mostly using the data that we see in creating content online and in our intranet. But I think it could definitely be used when doing or creating new products, because there's a lot of learnings filtered there. We also have an extensive system where we gather information from advisors, so they can feed in what they hear from customers, also what they see in chats.
And then you use that for product improvement on one hand and product development on the other hand.
Yeah. And process development.
So does that leverage your cost? Does it give you a cost advantage?
I wouldn't be able to answer that.
You don't know?
No, it's not in my field.
And if you look at the way you handle your position basically between the team and the management of the company, how do you manage to get the right budget?
That's a good question. We work in an agile setting in a very non-hierarchical way, where I feel that we have come to a position where companies executives set the goal that this is where we need to go and these are the things that we need to be careful of or mindful of. But then how we do that, we who really work with the products are able to define. Of course, there's a business case behind everything, and you need to make sure that you have that under control. But when you have done that and you show that you have strength and willingness and also good ideas, we get very much free mandates to test and try.
And do you think the results your teams produce help with ensuring the budgets?
I sure hope that they do. We are just selecting, because the Finnish, as I said before, the Finnish chatbot has been live for quite some time, and we see that it actually reduces the amount of chats that we get. So we have a positive business case there. Now when we're scaling in Sweden and hopefully also leveraging it in Norway, we have to recalculate that again. But yeah, of course, there needs to be a positive business case behind this. Otherwise, we wouldn't pursue it. But it's not only about the cost saving. It's also about the customer satisfaction, making sure that we can serve customers digitally in the best possible way.
It's a total picture.
Exactly.
And if you look at, you're working in 3 countries, how do you manage the languages?
we have local teams working with the chatbot. So there's one in Finland, there's one in Sweden, and there's one in Norway. On my team work basically with the technology and the roadmap future of farther ahead and the business development of it. So it's the local teams who does all of the, I wouldn't say real work, but yeah, they are the ones who are actually scaling it.
But are you then running 3 totally different chatbots, different narratives, and different languages and different products? Oh wow! Basically, it's 3 operations.
Yeah, it is.
And all in the same software.
Yes, it is.
That is very impressive. If you could give one advice to an insurance company that has no chatbot at the moment, how to start, where to start, and how to pitch it to the directors?
That's a good question. I think it depends very much on what kind of touch points that you have with your customers today. And are there frequently reoccurring questions that could be, a chatbot could be the solution to actually support that? Because customers, someone was saying that yesterday, that customers doesn't care if they talk to a robot or a human as long as the problem is solved. But it's harder for a chatbot to fix their own error than a human. So you need to be a bit mindful there. But there is a business case. If you see that you can find those...
Sorry. All the talking.
Yeah. If you see that you can, that you have a business case and a use case that is positive, then I don't see why not. Because I assume that all of the insurance companies see the same trend as we do, with phone contacts decreasing, digital contacts.
Sorry. So Justine here. Yeah, sorry.
So we all see that phone contacts are decreasing and digital contacts are increasing, which of course supports a business case.
Sorry. This is really annoying. I'm very glad to hear that. I hope a lot of insurance companies are listening and will implement chatbots in the proper way, meaning that they don't fire stuff over it, but use that stuff to create the chatbots. Lina, thank you very much for being here. Really enjoyed it, and I hope we will follow your case in the Nordics as you improve and move forward.
Thank you for having me.